Asking, how do I live stream? What do I use to live stream? So this video should answer all your questions, so make sure you watch until the end, because I'm gonna try to give you guys as many tips as possible so that your live streams can be great. Alright, so first things first, let's hop over to my desktop here and let's get me out of the way. So now this may look crazy, this may look like Inception right about now, but I'm probably gonna pop my logo over here so it's not in your way, so you guys don't get distracted. But this is XSplit. If this is the first time you're seeing XSplit, for your starting soon page, so this is where you will set up everything that your viewers in your audience will see. So if you've ever been in one of my live streams, you know that I have certain scenes set up. So when my live stream is about to start, you'll see this. Alright, and when my live stream is over, you'll see this. So all that is done through scenes. So let me show you how to make a scene. So the first thing you want to do is down here, you want to go ahead and right click on one of the scenes, and that will pop open the scene editor. So let me move this out of the way. So now you have your scene editor. This is where you will be doing all the scenes and adding in all the content that you want. So right now it's blank. There's nothing in here. The first thing you want to do is go down here to add. So let's say you want to add in your game footage, and that's all you want to add. You go down, you go to game capture, and usually you can put it on auto detect. Auto detect will automatically detect, just as it says, most games. So you just click on auto detect, whatever game you're playing, XSplit will pick it up and it will start, it will show you the game and you can start recording. Let's say you want to add in your webcam as well. So down here you go to add, webcam capture card video devices. You're going to click on your webcam. So I have a Logitech HD Pro. Click on that, and there I am. Here I am again, guys. So that is how you add in your webcam. Now you can go ahead and you can resize this. So if I want to make myself smaller, I can make myself smaller. I can move it around. You can do anything you want to do with that. So I'm going to move myself right here. Over here in the bottom right. So let's say you have someone made you an overlay, someone made you a nice graphic that you can put on your live stream, and you want to add that as well. So go down here to add again. Add media file. So this is where you can add in all kind of media files. Sorry about the beat. Add in graphics, add in overlays, anything you have on your stream that you want to put in, you can add it here. So let me see, where is my overlay? I don't even know where it is. This is one of the overlays that I had made when I was doing a lot of Splatoon on YouTube. Now this information is old, so I don't use it anymore, but let's say I want to add this in here. So you see I can resize it. Okay, and now, but oh wait a minute, my camera is not in the right place now, so let's move that out of the way. These little check boxes down here, you can just simply click on that and it'll go out of the way, and now I can move my camera up a little bit and try to fit it into that little box there to make sure that it's in the right spot. So there we go, we're almost there. Almost there. There we go. Well, that's good enough, folks. So now when I'm live streaming, this is what you will see with this scene. You will see my overlay, you will see me in the bottom right, and then the game will be in the middle. Now with the game, you can also resize that. So if I get all this out of the way, now you just have this. So this is where the game, see this moving around? This is where the game will be. So I can resize this so that it fits in the little box on my overlay. Or if I don't have an overlay, let's say I'm just a full screen, it won't have any boxes to the side or anything like that. So if we go back to here again, you guys see me. This is, and you just add in what you want. You just drag it around so that it's in the layout that you want, where it says broadcast. Now what you want to do is to configure a live stream. There will be an option that says add live stream or something like that. It says something about adding your channel. Yeah, add in a channel. You want to add a channel. The channel is either going to be Twitch or YouTube Live. So I have both set up, even though I normally stream on YouTube nowadays, but I did have Twitch set up in the past because that is where I was. But for YouTube, let's click on the YouTube settings and see and see what we have here. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, the settings gear by YouTube, and it pops up this little box over here. Sorry about all these beeps, I know that's annoying. It pops up this little box here. So these are the main settings. You know, what's all this information talking about? I have no pop up is live encoder settings, bitrate, resolution. Click on that, and that takes you to this wonderful page which gives you all the information you need to put into XSplit. So here's a rule of thumb. Here's what I recommend. If you're going to be doing live streaming, I recommend you stream at 720p 60 frames per second. You may be asking why. Because, okay, so first of all, streaming at 720p 60 frames per second, that looks great, and that will also allow a majority of people watching your streams to actually be able to watch it without buffering a lot. So if you stream at a higher quality, you need a higher bit rate. Bit rate is basically the quality and the download rate of your video. So let's say you have a 10 upload. Okay, if you have 10 upload, and let's say you set your bit rate to 10 because you want to use all your upload for whatever reason, that means that the person watching your stream has to have 10 download reliably to be able to watch your stream. Now, not everyone has fast internet, and not everyone even has a computer that can watch 1080p without, you know, freezing. Some people are using older laptops, some people are on their phones that don't have access to 1080p, you know, older phones. So to make everything enjoyable and viewable for people, I use 720p at 60 frames per second, because one, I can stream at a lower bit rate, which means that the person watching it won't have to download as much information without buffering, and two, 60 frames per second makes it look great, and the 720p allows pretty much anyone the ability to watch it. A lot of phones as well are moving up to the 60 frames per second. YouTube put out an update for their app, so a lot of phones are able to watch 60 frames per second as well. So let's click on these settings, because I'm talking a lot. Let's click on the settings. So here you will see settings that you want to put in if you want to stream at 720p 60 frames per second. So it says recommended 3800 kbps. Okay, so that is the bit rate that you want to put into XSplit on that screen that I just showed you. So let's hop back over to this screen. So here we have this screen. Okay, so for the encoder, we're going to use X264. Okay, and we're also going to use for the bit rate 3800, because that is what it recommends. You can put it higher, you can put it lower, but just putting that the recommended is great. Now, so one of the I may have mentioned this before, the reason why I use XSplit is because it's paid, first of all, so they're always updating it with new features and different things that will allow you to stream better and also allow you to record your videos better. So one thing that they added in recently is something that they call adaptive CBR. And what that means, let's say you're streaming and everything is going fine and dandy, is great, you're not dropping any frames or anything like that. Dropping frames means that your connection cannot keep up with what you're trying to put out. Okay, so you'll drop frames and then your stream will start lagging. So let's say you're streaming and everything is going fine, but now your little sister upstairs is watching a bunch of YouTube, or maybe she's uploading something to YouTube, or you know, whatever, other people in your house, or something is going on where you're not getting your full upload capability. What adaptive CBR will do is it will actually lower your CBR to compensate so that you will not drop those frames and people won't have that experience of your stream buffering and slowing down and skipping over those frames. So that is a really neat feature that XSplit added in, which is only in XSplit right now, which will help you when you're streaming, so you don't have to worry about it. If whatever happened around you and you can't stream as well, it will automatically adjust for you. So we have those settings set. Let's click on the gear here and you can see where you can activate adaptive CBR. So you just click on the little checkbox there, you can have that set. You don't really want to mess around with any of these other things because they're set at an optimal level. With this, don't really mess around with it because that can really mess up your quality of your stream. It can put a stress on your CPU if you set it for the wrong thing. The default is very fast. All this is, what this is saying is how fast is your CPU, okay? But it's in reverse. So think about it like this. If you set it for ultra fast, that means you have a very slow computer, okay? And you need the encoder to work fast so that your CPU won't be stressed out, okay? But if you have a really super beefy computer, you can set the encoder to slow. So that means that the encoder will work slower using more of your CPU, but because it's working slower, quote unquote, the quality is going to be much higher. Okay, because the quality is much higher, that puts more stress on your CPU. So again, it's kind of reverse. If you have a very slow computer, you can set this to ultra fast. If you have a super fast computer, you can set it to slow. But the default is very fast, and it works perfectly. I don't see any reason for you to actually change it. Okay, so we have the settings now. The settings are great, and we can actually start streaming right now because you've already linked your channel. Okay, so like I said before, you click on broadcast, and you'll see settings. You'll see options to link your channel. So you just log into your YouTube, and then you'll be able to link it up. We set our settings in here. Okay, so we have our bitrate, we have our codec, we have our mode, the audio. You want to have that set down here. I think it tells you what the audio, yeah, down here. Okay, so down here it tells you need to be at CBR. You see, that's why we're at CBR. It tells you need to have audio bitrate is 128. So if we go back here, you see the audio bitrate that I have is at 128. So that's where I got that from. So we have all the settings. We grabbed all the settings directly from YouTube. Okay, so now the next thing you want to do, like I said before, you want to make sure you're streaming at 720. So how do you make sure you're streaming at 720 and 60 frames per second? Again, we're in Inception here, but you want to go up to View, and then you'll see where it says Resolution. Because I'm recording right now, I can't actually change it, but I can, if I wanted to, I can simply change this to 720p. And then for the frame rate, you can change that to 60. Because I'm just doing a regular video without gameplay footage, I have it set to 30 and 1080p. If I were recording a game, I would have that set to 1080p at 60 frames per second. So that's where you change that, the resolution and the frame rate. Okay. Then once you have that set up, let's say you want to make your video now. So let's hop over to YouTube. Okay. And what I like to do, this is my YouTube main page here. What I like to do is you want to go over to click on the upper right here. You want to click on your Creator Studio. And then you want to click on where it says live streaming over here on the left. Alright, so you have to have this enabled first of all. So if you don't have it enabled, you want to go over to your channel settings. Okay, and then you should see something in here down at the bottom where it says live streaming. Make sure you have that enabled. You should have that option to you available. If you don't, then your channel is not eligible to live stream. And if you don't even see this page, that means your channel, that means you need to partner your channel with YouTube in order to have extra features. Okay, so again, we're going to go over to live streaming, and then we're going to go to events. Now you can do stream now if you have that option available. Stream now is pretty good if you just want to hop on really quickly and just live stream at a drop of a dime. But events will allow you to set up an event in advance. So let's say I want to stream tonight at 7 p.m., which is what I usually do. I would just go to schedule a new event, and right here is where you can set the time. So today at 7 p.m. and we're just gonna call this test stream. All right, and then we're gonna make this private because I don't want it to be shown. So we're gonna have it set to private. Here's where you can set the description. You can set your keywords, whatever you want to have in there. You can go to your advanced settings. So here is something important here. So first of all, you want to have enable live chat clicked on so people can actually check. You want to have automatically block spam messages checked so that people aren't spamming in your channel, unless you want people to spam, but I don't see why you would want that. So make sure that is checked. You want to make sure you have down here at the bottom enable DVR, so that is going to automatically record your live stream so that it is uploaded to a video to your channel later. Okay, so you want to make sure you have that set. Actually, no, you know what, I'm sorry, recording. You want to make sure you have recording set so that the video is uploaded maximum of 8 hours after the video is over. And DVR allows people that are watching to be able to seek back. So let's say you're live streaming, right? But people will have the opportunity to go back 4 hours. So if they missed the beginning of your stream, they can actually scroll back all the way to the beginning and see that. Now, this is really important right here. Stream optimizations. You want to have this set, at least I think, you want to have this set for optimized for interaction. So that will decrease the delay in your stream so that when people say something in the chat, you have a better opportunity to respond to it, and people are not waiting a long time for you to respond to their message. It's not perfect. There will be a delay in your stream. That's just how it works. But setting that will decrease the delay. That may have people buffer a little more, but it will decrease the delay. I think that's more important. People are typing to you and that you are able to respond quickly. Okay, so now, if you have monetization set up on your channel, which means you're partnered with YouTube, you have your PayPal set up and all that, you can go to this tab and you can set what kind of ads you want to be shown in your live stream. Okay, so set that up if you want to. If you don't have to, whatever the case may be. After you're done with all these settings, click on create event. Okay, and that's going to create your event in a second. Okay, that's going to create your event. And now what you need to do, you can set your thumbnail. So just click on that and you click on browse and just add in any random picture that you want. I have a whole folder full of my my thumbnails and pictures that I save. So I have a thumbnail now. Okay, here is where you want to set your bit rate. Okay, so we're gonna click on that and you're gonna go to 720p, and then enable 60 frames per second. You want to click on that as well so that YouTube knows that you're going to be streaming at 720p 60 frames per second, so that people have that option when they're watching the stream. And that's all you really need to do. That's all you really need to do. So now let me show you how I have it set up when I'm actually live streaming. So I have the event set up. I can click on view on watch page. So now I'm at the watch page here. It says that the event will be starting in 5 hours. So what I usually do, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works for me in my exact setup. So you want to make sure you have at least 2 monitors. That's the optimal setup. 2 monitors, because one of my monitors, this is what I'm seeing. Okay, so ignore the inception again. So I'm seeing, I have this window here, okay, which is showing me what I'm seeing, which is showing me recording my game and live streaming the game. And then in the background, I have the video playing. Make sure you mute the video. You want to mute the video because otherwise you'll have an echo. I'm seeing this window plus the video in the background. And then I see you guys is chatting over here. So I can quickly look over and see what is going on in my chat at all times. Let me put my video back on. So yeah, so whenever you see me looking over like this, that's because I'm looking at my other monitor and I'm seeing what you guys are saying in the chat because I have it set up. This exact layout is what I'm looking at on my other monitor, and the monitor in front of me is the game. So that's why it's important to at least have 2 monitors. If you don't have that set up, you can do it with 1 monitor, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot harder to do, to keep track of everything and then keep track of your live stream, keep track of people chatting, and keep track of making sure that there's nothing wrong with your recording software, nothing wrong with XSplit. XSplit hasn't crashed or your stream hasn't stopped for some reason. It's gonna be really hard to keep track of all that with only 1 monitor. All right, so that is pretty much the basics, guys. That is pretty much all you really need to stream. You need XSplit, and again, I said this.